Basketball has been an exciting part of the complete college experience at South Georgia Technical College for more than 20 years. Over the past 2 decades, the Jets and Lady Jets have gone or qualified for the national tournament 11 times, 2 times for the men and 9 times for the Lady Jets. This is a tremendous accomplishment. We hope you enjoy this look at our proud past and promising future.
South Georgia Tech had a history of playing some pretty good basketball back in the 50s and early 60s. And as a high school student, I remember reading about the South Georgia Tech team all the time and how good they were.
I got to know Coach Herb Norris, who was the coach here at South Georgia Tech. And when I started teaching here back in '73, I got involved with the athletic program, and Coach Norris asked me if I would introduce the teams at basketball games. So I had the pleasure of announcing the games for the Techniques, 1973, 74, and 75, which was a thrill for me at that time.
When I became an instructor here, there was a basketball program in place, and the team name was Techniques, and it was exciting. It was very competitive, and enjoyed it a great deal, and then it kind of faded away.
It was a decision to reinstate basketball because of the period of time we were in the school. We were in the process of going from a technical school to a technical college, and marketing was a new effort for us, that we were trying to draw additional students to the school. And if you looked at the resources that we had, we were only one of 2 tech schools in the state of Georgia that had a gym, and only one of 2 that had dorms. So we had some of the major pieces already in place.
We had to do all the behind-the-scenes planning, budgets, how to pay for the program. I had to find a coach, which we did. We found a guy who was teaching at Coach Chris Wade, who was teaching at what was then America's High School.
And when Miss Janice Davis and John Johnson talked to Coach Wade about coming over here and starting the program, and he asked me would I be willing to come, and I'm like, yeah, I like to be at the beginning of things and try to help it grow and bloom.
We had a contest to name the team. We named it the Jets. Bob House was the winner of that contest. Students participated, employees participated, and of course with all of our aviation, Jets was a logical name. We had to get all those kinds of things done, order uniforms, figure out transportation, how to get them to the games, set up schedules, and all of that had to be done before the season started on October 1st. We had to find the players.
I think maybe we got the job in March or April of that year. So we were really scrambling around trying to make some relationships, make some connections. So we were calling high schools around the area, hey, do you have any kids that's just graduating that might be interested in playing?
Eric Holland, he was very close with Coach Wade, and during the process they were trying to get players to come in, and he spoke to Chris King, which was actually one of the other guys that signed here, and he asked Chris to bring me up here to a tryout, and I came up here to a workout with Coach Wade and the team, and he ended up signing me late in the process instead of early.
We brought probably over 300 kids in, and they're in about a 2-month span, 20 at a time, 30 at a time. Worked them out, had different open runs in the gym. The gym was dusty, boy. We had wooden bleachers, we had holes in the floor, and we just said, hey, we don't know exactly how this thing's gonna turn out, but if you'll ride with us, we're gonna turn this thing into something good.
Back when we started, we basically started with a gym that was, in disarray. It needed a lot of work, which we've done over the years. As you can see today, it's a totally different facility. It's come so far.
You don't want to start something and halfway do it. You want to do it, and you want to do it right. And especially since we were breaking ground for all the technical colleges in the state of Georgia. So we were the first. And how we went would be how the other technical colleges went. And of course, eventually most of them followed along. And there are several, I don't know how many, but several technical schools that have basketball programs today. But none of them have reached the success that South Georgia Tech has. With the many trips to the nationals by the boys and the girls.
I think we can be measured statewide when all of the other colleges send their athletic program leadership to our campus to measure how it's done right.
Any success that we had here was directly related to Chris Wade's influence. You know, those are some big shoes to fill. I'd worked with him 2 years at Americus. We worked 5 years here together. He put a lot of trust in me. So I felt somewhat overwhelmed, and yet I knew that I was prepared as I could be. Hired Coach Dawson to come in and help us, and boy, we were off and running. And just a couple of years later, won a conference championship. Coaches are no good without players, and we were fortunate enough to have good players that got us there. Jay Crowder obviously being one of them that people know about. I remember my last year telling the guys, I want you to be able to tell your grandkids, not only did you go to the national tournament, but you got a chance to play in the national tournament. So my first half of that game, we put every kid in the game. And it didn't turn out so well on the scoreboard, okay? But they at least can tell their kids and grandkids, I actually played in the national tournament. So both of those were great experiences for my family as well, because they attended both as well.
My first year actually as an assistant coach was South Georgia Tech's first year as a program. And so I've gotten to watch them grow and become a traditional power in the conference. And it was just, it's an honor to be able to walk the sidelines of some of the great coaches that they've had here and some of the best players that they've had come through here to be on the same court. And I just say it's an honor, to be honest with you. The goal is to build on the tradition that they've already established and to create that winning culture that they've always had. We've had some lean years here lately, but those lean years tend to lead to bigger and better things. And I just want to build on what they built. I see the program in the next 5 or 10 years being a national power. You know, when you start talking about junior college basketball, South Georgia Tech's going to be included in that conversation, much like the women are now. That's my goal. The women are included in every spring and every fall. They talk about South Georgia Tech Lady Jets, and my goal is to get the men's program on that level to where we're a national power just like they are.
3 years later, after we started with the men's team, we started the women's team, of course, named Lady Jets, and we named Brandon Harrell, who was already our Director of Campus Life and Safety, to be our women's coach. And since he had been so instrumental in starting the Jets program, it was logical to select him, and he, made it easier for him to be able to start the women's teams.
There was a lot of pressure, I think, in especially in the beginning, to put a good product on the floor, and eventually we got there. It wasn't overnight success. We had to put in some time. I had to learn an awful lot about college athletics and coaching at that level. And thankfully we were given some time to do that, and I think it's turned out pretty well. So I'm very, very proud of my time at South Georgia Tech. I look back on those years with a lot of pride. I think absolutely Coach Frey has just come in and even grown the success even more. He obviously was the absolute right choice for the next head coach of the program. I mean, just look what he's done in his time there. He's taken a little bit of success that we've had and has exploded that success, and has been really one of the most successful coaches in the country.
I received a call from Stephen Wright, who was the athletic director, asking me if I was interested in the position. It was an easy yes for me when I got that call. And we were able to put together a 12-person roster that first year. Didn't know how it was going to turn out. It was definitely a work in progress, but we were able to win 20 games that first year and just kind of set the tone for what we did, from then on. I knew from where I came from and who I worked for, Coach Cox in the past, that if you worked hard, that if you developed your relationships with people, that if you treated people fairly, and that if you really approached the game in a professional manner and treated it like a family, that you would have a chance to grow it. And if you grow it in a way that everybody feels a part of it, then you're able to have a lot of success. And Coach Harrell laid the groundwork for it here, but we were able just to keep building on what he had laid the groundwork for. The WBCA Coach of the Year meant something to me. That's voted on by your peers, so that was a pretty neat award. I appreciated that a lot. That is a testament, I think, again, to our institution. It goes back to the support we have here. It goes back to the young people we have here. That one meant a lot to me, because that spoke volumes about, literally, that's voted on by coaches around the country. So that one meant a lot to me. And it does mean a lot to get to the national championship. One day it's going to mean a lot to win one for South Georgia Tech.
When I recruit a student athlete, I always talk about family and how the school itself is a family.
My basis on recruiting young people is family first. I feel like from the very top, from Dr. Watford down, we have a family atmosphere here.
My conversation with players to get them to come to South Georgia Tech, if you want to be a better student, be a better athlete, and be a better person, come here. They graduate players, they develop players, they move players on to a four-year school, and they're a winning program.
They're very big on, one, you coming here and getting your education and leaving. Two, they're very supportive of our athletics program, so they want to see us win. And three, is just a all-around great community environment where, of course, like, you'll be taken care of by the 2 years you're here.
We're bringing in folks all over the world now. If you look at the population of our athletic programs, you'll see that we are internationally recruiting, which is an attest to the impact that South Georgia Tech has upon our community.
Anytime they come from a different country, is a different opportunity. They just have to adapt to what they see here. And I'm very sure South Georgia Tech is a very, very good school, because the workers, everybody treats everybody as family. And I'm very, very sure that they're going to enjoy the school.
We're rural, and I explained that to them in the process. If you're after city life, if you want the bright lights, we're probably not the place for you. And I'm very upfront about all that earlier. But if you want a place where you can get a good foundation academically, work hard in the classroom and have success, work hard in the gym and have success and be seen by a lot of really good schools and move on, then this is a perfect place for you, because you'll have access to all those resources and have a chance to set a good foundation for yourself.
I always explain to them, if you want to become a better student, you want to become a better basketball player and a better person, you couldn't find a better place than America's Georgia and South Georgia Tech.
The Booster Club is just exactly what it says. It is a booster for the athletic program, and it brings in people from the community to help us raise funds, to support the travel and the other activities that these athletes have to participate in, and to give them what they need in order to excel on the court and in the classroom.
Well, I was teaching culinary arts and got a phone call from Willie Mathis, who was our electrical instructor at the time, and he said, "Dave, they need us on the Booster Club board." And I said, "Willie, I don't know anything about basketball." And he said, "Well, come on." The teams need extra funds to do what they do, especially in years when we send both teams to national tournament. That gets quite expensive. But the Booster Club, we do a lot more than just financial stuff. We look after the men and the women's teams. We try to do day at the lake for them every year to get them acclimated to South Georgia and get them acclimated to South Georgia Tech and the people we have. We look at them as our kids and try to take care of them that way.
You know, one of the big things that we tried to do was to change the image of technical education in our area and statewide. And I think to be a true college, I think you need to offer students, especially if you have dorms, some other activities that they can get involved with and identify the school with. The people within the community saw that we were not the old trade school anymore, that we had really crossed the line, that we were looking and acting like a technical college. And I think that having the basketball team really was one of the factors that created the atmosphere that South Georgia Tech has today.
Our students, which are student athletes, but first and foremost, they're students, they're getting an education where they're going to be able to go into the workforce and get gainfully employed. But the intercollegiate athletic experience for all of our students gives us a credibility with business and industry because we have winning teams and we know how to compete. And there's nothing more competitive than business and industry, and they want to be with a winner.
I think that the impact that it has provided for the college, just from a marketing standpoint alone, is tremendous. When you think about it, basketball has helped enrich the reputation of the college from locally to statewide to nationally and even internationally. Our social media posts go around the world. We have people that are interested in coming to South Georgia Tech because of the basketball program.
You know, it's hard to pick out one event or one moment or one person, but the culture of South Georgia Tech would not be what it is without Jets basketball.
Our athletes excel and do well on the court and also do well in the classroom, and they have to do well in the classroom in order to stay on the court.
We've graduated all but one young lady, and I can only speak for my 10 years, all but one young lady has graduated from South Georgia Tech in 10 years. That excites me because academics, and we talk about this every day with our young people, academics have to be first. We have to get your degree because soon after basketball, your life starts.
A lot of these young men, a lot of these young women come from hardships, and for them to know people care about them every day, I think it's a blessing to them. And I don't know if they always realize that until they leave. I have a lot of players that leave and say, oh, I'm never coming back to Americus. And about 6 months later, Coach, I miss Americus. I miss South Georgia Tech.
Education is first and foremost the content that's delivered in the classroom and the laboratories. But it's not all of that. It's being part of something bigger than yourself, knowing how to contribute to that, knowing how to celebrate wins and endure losses. And all that's part of the sports and the sports arena. So it's a very integral part of the education of our students.
My family and I went to Atlanta for the very first Jets basketball game. We played Mount Olive Prep, had no idea, what our team was going to really do. They hadn't been together that long. And we won that game. It was a great game, and it was a great win to start our program with.
We've had some really good memories here. Winning a bunch of championships has been great, but to me it all goes back to the first one, our first championship. That feeling was incredible, and I'll never forget it. And that was the most incredible feeling ever, and I'll never forget it.
It's hard not to have that first year coaching women, winning a championship and going to the national tournament, not to be one of my favorite moments. But I'd say every May when the student athletes walk across that stage and graduate, that's probably my favorite moment. Each year it becomes my new favorite moment because that's what we're here for.
I think it was when we played Northwest Florida last year and we beat them. That was our head coach's first win, but it was also against one of the top teams in the country. So that was a big experience for me on the coaching side. So it's been fun.
My favorite memory is the young men we touched while I was here. The fact that they were able to play here and move on to four-year school, that's the biggest satisfaction I have.
My most memorable moment was as the assistant coach to Stephen Wright. We accomplished regular season and conference tournament championship and setting a school record of 29 wins and 5 losses, which still stands today.
My fondest memory being a Jet, of course, 2008, 2009, we defeat Georgia Perimeter in conference championship for a chance to play in Hutch. The atmosphere on campus in the community was great.
Certainly winning, cutting the nets down twice at home, which was a real privilege. But I think now, some 20 years removed from the original team, almost 8 years removed from the last team, the relationships are always the most important.
Probably the best memory I have playing here is playing in front of the fans that we had here, the faculty and staff, the community, just the love that South Georgia Tech showed us during the process of playing before and after the games, getting to know the fans, getting to know the faculty and staff. Those are the most fun memories for me.
I guess how the faculty got involved, so much so that we even had 1 or 2 of them ejected from ball games. And that, to me, that was something I'll never forget. As a matter of fact, one of them is on the senior staff today. I won't mention his name. He knows who he is.
I was yelling at the referee and called him a name that I won't repeat here, but evidently that was the key to turn down all the sound and the crowd to get quiet, because that echoed out across the stadium, and the ref blew his whistle, said, "You got to go." And Coach Wade was like, "No, he doesn't. No, he." I said, "Coach, you stay, I'll go. You're more important than me." But he wanted me to leave the building, but I snuck back to the hospitality room and watched it on the closed circuit. But yeah, so I have that distinction.
All right, let me say this. I know this is a 20-year anniversary, but basically this is probably a 60-year anniversary to all of the techniques as well. They're part of this program. Even though they might not have been a Jet, they're part of South Georgia Tech. So to all of those athletes, I thank you for being part. And for the future athletes to come, man, what a great ride that you will have if you become part of South Georgia Tech.
I do wish to thank the 2001, 2002 team for coming back to South Georgia Tech and meeting with us on sophomore day and celebrating their 20th year as Jets alumni. I'm happy for them and so excited to see them again, and I want to congratulate them for all that they've accomplished in their lifetime thus far, and looking forward to seeing what happens from here on out.
I'd like to say congratulations to all the individuals who've played basketball here at South Georgia Tech, whether they were a tradesman, a technique, or a Jet or Lady Jet. South Georgia Tech is helping to change lives through the basketball program as well as workforce development. This has been a great place, and it has really enhanced the reputation of South Georgia Tech because of athletics and everything that it brings for the complete college experience.
Happy anniversary to them, and the new players coming over, I wish them all the best in their career too.
We owe those players a big thanks, and they have been successful. They will be successful in the future. And for the 2022 Jets and Lady Jets, I hope you make it all the way to the Nationals again this year. I know it's a tough road, but congratulations on a great program, a great school, and a great boys and girls basketball team.
Jets, this is Rico Dawson. I will forever be grateful for the opportunity that you guys gave my family, and from the bottom of my heart, happy 20th anniversary.
Congratulations on your 20th anniversary, South Georgia Tech Jets.
I'm just thankful for all the hard work that those young men and those coaches put in all those years ago to help get this program up and running and everything that they've done. back then.
I think it's a great testimony to the foundation they built and a great testimony of the school's appreciation of that group to go back and say, hey guys, thank you.
Again, congratulations South Georgia Technical College on celebrating 20 years of Jets basketball. And thank you for 4 years of memories that will last a lifetime. Go Jets.
First of all, I'd like to thank John Johnson, President John Johnson, in 2001, who had the vision. I'm sure he didn't anticipate how big the program was going to be, but of course he left a great legacy with the basketball program. I'd like to also thank President Sparky Reeves for continuing and John Watford for continuing it to this day.
You know, to former tradesmen, techniques, and former Jets and Lady Jets, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for being a part of South Georgia Tech. Thank you for what you mean to this college and what you meant to this college. And reach out, tell us your story. We'd love to hear the special stories, the anecdotes, the part of our history that we might not be aware of that you were such an integral part of. But most of all, I would like to say thank you for being part of a winning team, both on the basketball court and in the workforce. I feel very fortunate to have been a small part of the Jets and Lady Jets success during my time as president. You know, the coaching staff and the administration and the players first and foremost, are winners. And to be part of a winning team is just immeasurable. So the excitement that I love basketball. I really enjoy going to the games, and my wife and I enjoy going. So it's just really a pleasurable part of being president. And I've got 5 rings to show for 5 championships.